Hey roamers, I'm Jamie.
I'm Linda.
And this is Roaming with Rosie.
Today we're at the Texas Sealife Center. Unlike your typical aquarium that's more of an attraction, this is a rescue and rehab center for everything from sea turtles to monitor lizards to owls.
Snakes, porcupines, all kinds of turtles.
And you can take a tour here. It's free to come in, but if you really want to see any of the animals that are that they keep and some who have to stay here for life, then you take a tour. It's $9. This is completely a non-profit organization, and we had about a 45-minute tour with a lot of details, so I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it was really informative. It was really a good tour.
So let's take a look.
As of the date of this episode, September 2022, 282 loggerhead sea turtles have stranded on Texas beaches in just the last 4 months. This is more than double the average number of strandings recorded during the same period between 2012 and 2021, and only about a third have been found alive. While their normal weight can be up to 350 pounds, most are emaciated. All sea turtles are on the endangered species list. At the time that we were here in April, all of the sea turtles being cared for were green sea turtles, which is what we were also seeing from the Aransas jetty and the harbor in Port Aransas.
Didn't you guys just release some turtles last week?
It's actually been 3 weeks now. It was on a Sunday, but yeah, we had like a whole thing. We released like 7 turtles. Another really common reason that we get sea turtles are from boating accidents. If you can see the straight line down the back of his shell, that is from a boat propeller. And if you're ever seeing them out in the wild and you want to know if it's a green sea turtle, a really good way is just to look at the pattern on the back of their shell. It's kind of a sunburst pattern. Oh. And then the little scales on the back of their head, they're the only sea turtles that have that as well, on the very top of his head.
Okay.
Are turtles separated that have a disease called fibropapillomatosis, or FP for short. But what it does is it causes these growths on any part of their soft tissue part of their body, and they can be anywhere from like a pea size all the way up to about a baseball size. You can kind of see them on the flippers of some of these guys and the eyes.
Oh yeah.
If it impairs their vision or their movement in any way, we do surgically remove them.
Poor thing.
And even when we remove them here, those growths will, maybe not in the same spot, but they do get new growths later on. But yeah, all of those guys will be released eventually. Everybody back here is a permanent resident.
Okay.
For various reasons. Here we have American kestrels. We have Vince and Vanessa. Vince here is the male, and you can tell just because it's a little bit brighter orange right there, a little more vibrant, and he's got that leopard spotting. And Vanessa back there is a duller color, and she has kind of zebra pattern on her chest. That's a really common thing with birds. Generally, the boy is more extravagant, and trying to attract the female.
They wear their makeup.
Yeah. These guys are both with us because of left wing injuries. These are red-footed tortoises. They get their name from these little red spots on their front feet. These guys are from South America and a little bit of Mexico. These two in particular were somebody's pet. They had them housed together, fed together, all of that, and they surrendered them to us because they weren't able to keep up with their nutritional needs. He's nice to us, at least. Just bullies.
This is Regina.
Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina. Regina.
Regina likes the camera.
Somebody had her as a pet and she started getting quite larger than they expected her to get.
Wow.
That's the case with a lot of our animals inside. All those reptiles, they either live a lot longer than people expected them to, or they get a lot larger than people expected them to. And then I also get asked a lot if porcupines can like shoot their quills. They don't. What they do is when they feel threatened, they kind of do this like snorting and huffing and stomping their feet. And then when they feel truly threatened, like they want to attack you, they'll just turn around and they'll back into you full force. And that's how they get you with their quills.
She just wants a sweet potato.
I know.
She already ate it all. Forget you, man.
I'm going back under my tunnel.
She's with us again because of a left wing injury. Someone found her on the side of the road and said that she was hit by a car.
Oh.
And then if you look at her beak, that sear part, the pumpkin-y orange color, it acts almost like a mood ring in this species. So it's that pumpkin-y orange color when they're relaxed and feel calm, but it does change to like a really pale yellow, almost as gray as their beak occasionally when they feel like anxious or threatened. We do take her inside occasionally for like educational purposes. But she has a thing with doorways. She really does not enjoy going through doorways.
Oh.
And so we took her inside about a week ago, and as soon as we had her go through a couple of doorways, her beak almost immediately turned that really pale yellow, and I thought it would take longer than that, but it's literally within minutes.
Wow.
But then it changed drastically back to pumpkin orange once we got her back in here and calm again. So it's kind of crazy, but I mean, at least we know that she's actually comfortable and happy in here.
This is Soren. He's a barn owl. He loves music, especially Adele. That is what he was actually rocking out to, but we can't play Adele here. But wanted you to get the idea of why he's dancing and so happy.
He is quite territorial. If he sees you in his exhibit, or a lot of the time people just sitting right here, if he sees them, he'll like charge, and he goes quite fast.
Oh yeah. He does not like that.
Oh, wow.
I
Look
know,
at that.
I'm sorry.
Man, he's fast.
Right? He goes a lot faster than you expect.
There's a link to the nonprofit Texas Sealife Center with information about visiting, as well as how you can help, in the description below.
So we're headed south about 8 miles to Padre Island. Right now we're on Mustang Island, and we're headed down to Padre Island, and there's a city park right before the National Seashore. So we got a few nights there, and that's where we're headed now.
We had been planning on boondocking on the beaches down here and even in Padre Island National Seashore, so we only had reservations for the first 2 nights to get situated. However, the sand on the beaches here is fine like sugar, which is lovely on your feet, but with a constant wind it would end up everywhere in the RV. We decided to try our luck with the public campgrounds in the area. All of them have been fantastic, spacious, and just on the opposite side of the dunes. The negative has been park hopping because we're dependent on cancellations, but we made it work. Padre Balli County Park is located in Corpus Christi at the northern tip of Padre Island. It offers several types of camping. The main campground where we stayed is lovely. It has very widely spaced campsites with full hookup 50, 30, 20 amp electric and large paved level pads. There are also small sites in the same area with water and electric. Those are limited to tents, vans, and small RVs. They are next to bathrooms with showers. They also have another section with 30 amp electric and water. These are on asphalt with some tables and bathrooms with showers. They're half the price, but they won't allow a 50 amp rig to camp there even if we have a 30 amp converter. Less than a 5-minute walk was the beach, and we were once again glad that we had not depended on beach boondocking. Unlike Port Aransas just up the coast where there is very wide beaches, here in Padre Balli the only thing blocking the high tide is the natural dunes. There was no place to park a car, let alone an RV that was safe from the sea at the time we were there.
It didn't look anything like this the other day, did it? Definitely a high tide.
Like Port Aransas beaches, they seem to have a trash problem. Besides what beachgoers leave behind, they also seem to be the receptacle for trash floating in the Gulf of Mexico. East-facing South Texas beaches have 10 times the amount of plastics and other garbage from the Gulf coming ashore. These beaches have suffered from recent hurricanes. Hurricane Hannah in 2020 virtually destroyed the end of the popular Bob Hall Pier. It's said that the Bob Hall Pier offered the best fishing in South Texas. The pier extended out into the Gulf of Mexico 1,240 feet. The surge from Hurricane Hannah had a huge impact on this area, with the end of the popular pier being ripped away by waves. The natural sand berm near the pier likely saved the Padre Balli Park office. County officials have made the pier a top priority, and the rebuild of an even better pier has recently begun. Today we're headed out of Padre Balli County Park, where we camped for, I think we had 3 nights. It was really nice. I was only able to get 3 nights, so we're leaving. It's a Friday morning, and we are headed back now to the Texas State Park, Mustang Island. Padre Island and Mustang Island are part of the longest barrier island in the world, stretching 115 miles from Port Aransas to the tip of Texas. Unlike the fun beach town of Port Aransas at the northern tip of Mustang Island, the barrier island's natural ecosystem has been preserved within the almost 4,000-acre borders of the park, which includes 5 miles of beachfront. At the time that we were there, the park was still recovering from 2017's Hurricane Harvey, which closed the park for about 2 years. Except for a new bathhouse, they were still operating out of temporary buildings. If you like small campgrounds, huge uncrowded beaches where you can walk for miles along the shoreline, this might be the place for you. There's 48 water and electric campsites that are protected by the dunes but close enough to the water that we could hear the waves at night. Brand new restrooms and showers with hot water are located right next to the campground. Dependent on beach conditions, the park has an additional 50 primitive spaces on a designated 2-mile stretch of beach with portable toilets. We're used to seeing colored flags at the beach for riptides or no surfing, but we were a bit freaked out by seeing this dark purple flag. It's a warning that there's a potential problem with marine life, in this case, floaty blue things that move on the beach. We saw a lot of these along the shoreline here. They're called Portuguese man-o-war. The man-o-war has a gas-filled chamber that's used as a sail to propel it through the water. The man-o-war is iridescent blue with long tentacles that can reach up to 180 feet in length. The tentacles contain poison, which causes the stinging sensation if you touch it. While laying on the beach, they appeared to be looking at me. They seemed creepy, trying to angle their chamber, but they were actually trying to catch some wind and get themselves back in the water. Once they're in the water, they're pretty hard to see. Fortunately, the Portuguese man-o-war is here seasonally. Unfortunately, it's the same season that you want to be there. You'll have to watch for them spring through late summer. All of the beaches here have signs telling people to carry vinegar in case of a jellyfish sting so that you can pour it on there. What the signs don't tell you is to also have tweezers so that you can pluck away, or your driver's license so you can scrape away the invisible tentacles. We were able to stay in Mustang State Park for a total of 10 days, of course not all together. We purchased an annual Texas State Park Pass in March for $70 and visited or camped in 3 parks during the 2 months that we were in Texas. For camping, the discount for pass holders is to pay half price for the second night when you stay 2 or more consecutive nights in the same campsite. We found it a bit confusing and actually turned out to be good luck when I had to use 3 reservations to camp in 2 sites on 6 consecutive nights in Mustang State Park. Here's an example of what it costs for a reservation for 4 nights without the pass. And here's what it costs with the pass for the same reservation. Many of our destinations in the next year will take us through Texas. With 88 state parks located in most every part of the state, we know we'll use it a lot more before our year is up, making this a great value for us. Join us next week as we explore Padre Island National Seashore and finish up our visit to the Texas Riviera. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Roaming with Rosie and will share it with your friends and family. If you're new to this channel and want to see more videos like this, just click the subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified each time we put out a new video. And we love hearing from you and invite you to leave a comment down in this video's description. There's also links down there for more information on the places we visited in this episode, as well as discounts for things we use and approve of. We do sometimes get a small commission when you use our approved links to make a purchase at no additional cost to you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see ya!